probably the best Gragas in the league, maybe the world. TT are one of the teams who have flexed Gragas both top and mid, though. So putting some respect there is JDG right now. Just going to insta-lock with the Annie. I guess not an insta-lock. Take a bit of time to hover through some other champions like the Master Yi, but very confidently locking in that Annie. We've already seen some of the pairings. We saw the Aphelios in the last game, and that is a pick we know Ruler, you know, is incredibly comfortable on throughout his career. Hasn't picked it up yet in the LPL, but still it is just coming back into meta as TT looking to answer back with junglers, the Wukong open and instantly going towards Zeri.
Wow. Oh my God. Zeri, ladies and gentlemen. Zeri got locked in. That's cool. Vi? Whoa. Aphelios. Maybe we get something different down bot, but Aphelios, a little bit different there as well. Cool lyric. Lulu's open.
I gotta say, I actually don't mind this as much as it seems like you do, because I feel like in LPL we've really gotten away from a lot of these drafts of, like, you know, the Zeri on one side, you know, 2 meta junglers coming out. So it's kind of like a welcome breath of fresh air. As someone who doesn't watch LCK, because I know in LCK this could still be really standard, though we did just have a Cho'Gath on the last game as LCK did just finish. But yeah, point is, you know, we can return to a bit of normality sometimes because we do stray from it quite a bit. And coming in now, right, at least still kind of nice diversity where TT setting up to play through the Zeri. On JDG side, we saw in our last series that Aphelios doesn't need to be set up as this big, huge carry. You still have like a lot of early opportunities you can play for, try and link up with the Annie, set up some picks and bursts, but maybe round out your damage portfolio elsewhere, especially when you have 369 and Knight on the roster. 2 other players you can very much believe in to carry. Ooh, they're actually signaling that they think it's going to go towards that mid lane.
I was just wondering. Yeah, it does look like Knight going to flex it again. Knight's already played it, guys. If you missed our opening segment, 15 unique champions. Knight has played 15 different champions, and with a Cassiopeia ban, I can definitely understand that that's probably looking like an Annie mid. However, Lyric, again, JDG might be playing with their hearts as engage potential was taken off by TT in that first ban away. Maybe they get rid of another support just in case, but maybe they're looking at the potential flex there with the Kali taken as well.
I think it's good. Cover both bases. You know, like we said, this is kind of the pairing you see with the Aphelios Annie quite a bit now, so you can expect it down towards that bot lane, but still not wanting to put it in the hands of Knight. But now we're looking at where TT want to go with their next pick. And I mean, we still... Oh, wow, I'm surprised how confidently they just locked this one in, going straight with the Ahri. Could have maybe looked for like a safe top line if they wanted to go for something like a Renekton, which, you know, is incredibly common here in the LPL, but instead saying, hey, we value more of getting Hoya on a comfortable matchup against 369.
Dude, Ucal just wants, like, Ucal just wants to match Knight's champion pool. We're talking about Knight having 15 uniques, right, as he locks in one of his El Clasicos. And we get rid of that Basado because on the other side, Ucal now locks in his 14th unique. Like, these guys are just flexing it here as we get the fun matchup. And as you said, the counter pick, Renekton blind for 369. We are just getting the, you know, again, El Clasicos, to repeat myself, out of these solo laners of JDG. But Lyric, what do you get as a response from Hoya?
Looks like, I was going to say, I feel like you just end up going with like a weak side tank top laner. You don't need to index anything too heavily like a Jack. So they are just going to go with the Ornn to be able to match into this one, give them some pretty solid long-range engage, which is something I really like when you have like mobile champions like the Aphelios and the Syndra on the opposite side. But I love it. We said the thing to watch coming into today's match was Knight versus Ucal. And with these picks, I still feel the same. They're the points of agency on the map. Top lane should be a bit of a, you know, a bit of a stalemate in terms of you have an Ornn, so you shouldn't see too many resources up there. Bot lane as well, pretty heavy farming emphasis, especially for Huanfeng and Yao Yao. So a lot of mid-jungle intervention before we start seeing 5v5s come online.
Oh, I like it though. 5v5 to lock in playoffs. JDG win this series regardless. They are in playoffs, regardless as well. They'll move to 9-3. They'll move to near the top of the standings alongside LNG and EDG. And also show us that they mean business here in the LPL split. We welcome you back to Summoners Rifters. We've got a big night ahead. It's 11:30 for me already, and we're only just starting our second series.
TT, like you said, have never made playoffs in the history of being known as Thunder Talk. Actually, to find a playoff run, you have to go all the way back to 2019 spring. Your first split in the LPL
True.
the like sword and shield style of. I can't remember if it was still Sino Dragon at that point. I think it was already DMO, but
no, it was Sino Dragon for their first split.
Oh, still Sino Dragon. So yeah, having people like Gala, having people like Mark, Twyla in the mid lane, like you are going way back, a different organization, a different roster. Like many rebrands later now, TT.
What?
I guess not even rebrands. Like actually, the organization being sold and changing hands for this to come through.
I was just going to run in and say, Huanfeng, this is his 300th game in the LPL. We were just celebrating JDG's 300th game in the LPL. I thought JDG had been playing for like an extra year. Did Huanfeng start in 2019? He promoted on IT Young. And I thought his debut was 2020 Sooning.
Yeah, no, his debut in LPL was 2020, but remember 2019 that JJ was JJ was not used predominantly. He came in summer, and you know that's when he really started. We also have to factor in all the games of like when him and Junja were kind of swapping out in 2020 and situations like that, right? So Tor Huanfeng, at least since he's been in, has pretty much always started in the LPL, not having to like go with the rotating AD carry situations. But looking at that, we are honing in on bot lane right now. We said it should be a bit of a wash. You expect Ruler missing to have prio early on, like we see now. Also going to be the ones looking for kill pressure as they get some levels under the belt. The 6 mark, like we said, that's what we always look out for with the Annie and the Aphelios coming online, especially once we get towards first items like Gale Forces. That's when Aphelios has a lot of pressure. It's all about mid jungles. Beichuan and Ucal are realizing that.
Can you get the flash? Scatterwig already used Flash Charm melee range. Beichuan goes in, Knight burns his own. So that's jungle flash, mid flash for a response from Knight.
Trying to find it, not being able to get the damage down quick enough. Nice response by Knight to be able to get out of there. And with this, right, this is going to open up just a bunch of chaos because we've already speculated to see these jungles paying attention here. Ahri, someone you can't punish early, especially before that level 6 comes online. For Kanavi, though Kanavi himself would prefer that ulti online, but still, right? You go the Scout of the Week, sets up the Q in from the buy, and then you get punished. So now it's going to be about which junglers can meet up there next. But speaking of junglers, Beichuan wants to get involved in bot.
Again, round 2. It feels like he's just building up a bit of tempo here as Kanavi. Ready to match. Kanavi's been farming while that mid gank came through as well. So a bit of a level difference here, and Kanavi will just start the Scuttle Crab off, take that quite nicely. Interesting comparison to the bottom of your screen. I hope everyone at home can see this one as Lyric, we can't read Mandarin, but at the bottom, 15 minutes, something first blood, I think. First is Kanavi, 3.3 average. That's probably his blood ratio. I'm gonna guess. I probably shouldn't guess, but I'm just gonna guess and say that.
I pulled up JDG stats, you know, the other week, and when it came to aggression, across the board, they were all top of the list. In terms of like CS differentials as well, you have people like Knight and Ruler. Ruler was especially insane. At the time, he was averaging 19 CSD, 15 over his opponent, things like that. It makes sense. Their wins have been very dominant. And, you know, even when they lose, they've been a team that typically have been able to keep it close and make you work for it. So that's why for JDG, even though we're saying, hey, don't discount TT, there's still always a world where they can come out and just stomp absolutely anybody. As we can already see them off to a good start, finding a bit of an advantage in the spot lane right now in terms of CS, and even mid and top going accordingly. So JDG opting into strong laning matchups, and that's where they have been able to thrive, right? Early game leads, they're very easily able to snowball games very fast and play off that tempo with their strong individual prowess.
And that's the nice thing about JDG. It hasn't really changed, has it? They've gone from like skirmishes, like bruisers, as in their playstyle being bruiserish. JDG always being like this bloodthirsty team, quicker around the edges, right? It's always been somewhere in between. Where JDG having strong lanes, like, yeah, that feels like, what, last year's style, or at least spring? I'm trying to remember, because I know it was different AD carry.
JDG up until playoffs last year, a lot of people are going to think back to Worlds and playoffs and think back, oh, this team that always loses early and comes back to team fights. JDG, for the whole regular season of like both splits, was one of our most aggressive teams in the league. They're like, their champion kills per minute was absolutely insane, especially between like the 10 and 15 minute marks. Like, they really wanted to scrap. It was only in playoffs when we started to see them get tested, pushed behind by teams like TS and have to make those comebacks. So now we're going to see them at least off to a good start, you know, going to keep up the early game dominance, 1K gold lead, picking up a dragon. And for TT, I think a lot of it's going to be seeing Beichuan
He went in
not chased down missing. I think it's going to be looking for a repeat gank on mid. You still have a small window where Knight doesn't have his flash back up. You have the Spirit Rush available for Ahri, so should be a time to set up an easy game on Knight.
Look at the timing here. As you said, no flash available. The Lulu roam was huge. Orbit Deception after the charm. Knight just has to walk this out, but Yao, I mean, pudding. What a delicious meal for First Blood.
We said we wanted to see it for Beichuan, but it's actually Yao getting involved in the mid lane. And this has been the highlight for TT. Mid-jungle support working together. This time Beichuan not getting involved, but Yao making the roam up to get involved and already setting Ucal up for success. So that's been a nice thing about TT is they very clearly understand like their style and their game plan. Now using that gank mid to hover down towards bot side. Not going to be able to find anything with it, and you know, no wards to be able to get placed down just yet to enable that bot lane matchup. But still, it means that they can safely walk down. They don't run into Kanavi, and they'll be doing fine as Kanavi actually potentially looking up towards his top side right now, so just stealing away the red buff.
Oh yeah, so a little bit of a steal gives a bit of confidence to 369 at the same time. Who's having a great time in that matchup too. For JDG, that First Blood going over to mid. Let's see how many questions it starts throwing up as Ucal is now level 6 with the Spirit Charge as well. Beichuan coming bot, Lyric. I know this story. And as they go on in, Beichuan on a bit of a ward. Monkey, get the ward.
At the same time, I was going to say, we can see the top side, Hoya getting zoned out. Knight also had walked into River, so walked into Fog War. Hoya expecting the roam to come through in the 3-man drive across. So doing a nice job to deny on top is Ucal.
Oh, again. Spirit Rush comes through. One more. Guess what? Beichuan's here. Right underneath turret. It is bullying Knight season, and Ucal is first in line.
Trading gear, Ucal able to find the punish in mid with the help of Beichuan. Still though, JDG are taking advantage of Hoya in that top lane. We can see here, finally going to manage to get back under turret, and at least it isn't the most, you know, you're on an orb. If you get set behind, you're still going to have your job that you're able to do. So I do feel like TT went out at the end of the day in terms of setting up the right character ahead and putting Knight behind. But still, 369 with the lead is nothing you can scoff at.
And again, look, on Renekton as well, one of his greatest champions of all time. You know, we look at the Shine 369's comparison, but they have very different champion pools. When I think of 369, I think of crazy Ornn games, I think of Renekton, I think of Jax. Now, of course, when I think of Ucal, I'm probably going to have to start thinking about Ahri because this is also pretty clean.
Spirit Rush lands the charm, gets the flash, and then Beichuan able to follow up the flash and the Cyclone just to make sure that it goes over, and Ucal being the one to pick up the kill too, so getting more gold under his belt.
Spot breaker. Yao flashes away. King Kanavi, welcome back. He sets up the bot, and that's a crescendo of Aphelios. Let's go spin to win around the turret.
And look at the CS lead he's already built up. Like, they were already doing this themselves in the 2v2, and now getting more gold under his belt. So for JDG, even with, you know, things being lost in mid, they're still gonna have this huge threat that they can play around in Ruler and bot lane. And it looks like it's going to be keep hammering home on this. So now we have to see TT use the advantage they found in mid and start to relieve some of the pressure that has been put up in bot lane against Huanfeng and Yao. Potentially find some of these picks. Rift Herald's up right now, so I'm interested to see how this impacts the map state. With the fact that JDG have that pressure top and bot, I think it should set up for JDG to be the team that have first move towards that Rift Herald, and it would be up to TT to find like a pick out somewhere first if they even wanted to try to contest that play.
Mako's already made his back, and you can see he's moving straight towards that top side, so early bird gutting the worm. Ucal, as he walks down bot, he's spotted on a ward, so with this timing too, Ucal will have to come back to mid, probably get shoved out by Knight, and away go JDG. Because Lyric, despite those 2 kills, dude, JDG are ahead, 1,300 gold as Kanavi now set up in position to try and elevate mid this time. Beichuan walking in, he's a little bit sus, thinking, boy, oh boy, where is that Annie? And so he won't walk into certain death that Mystic was gearing up for as well.
I mean, Ruler even just finished off his call. Call finished 10 minutes into the game, so
wow.
Gonna get the extra, you know, the extra gold on top of that, the extra 350, so I guess 450, right? Get the one from killing the minions, so now Bloodthirster in pocket. Just the stock and standard these days. We saw how annoyingly unkillable Aphelios becomes once this item is online. And only 2 plates left to barrel down on that one. Kanavi getting Rift Herald, and TT kind of left left thinking, hey, where can we look for a play? Knight has no flash, so it probably is going to be mid once again.
Did you just say 2 plates to Feral? Hang on, pause on that one. I'm going to ask you in a second. Charm connects again. Evercross this time. I loved Ucal absolutely blasting on one of our best mids.
I gotta be real. I don't know what I was saying. I thought I said like barreling down played spot, but I might have just gave a shout out.
You
to
could have
Barrel.
said, yeah, you threw a shout out to Barrel. Good on you. Absolutely good on you. And TT, look, they are the ones who've just taken a bit of control here. 3-0 start. Knight is down pretty bad here, and this is a rough way to start off game number 1 for JDG. They might still have the gold lead, but now you are dealing with an Ahri that has Everfrosted early, that was able to get the second dragon. JDG needs something as a response.
Looks like Harold to the top might look for a dive.
For the Forge God. Ah, no. Hoya. Hoya. Hoya.
Not going as planned for Hoya. So JDG finding an answer back somewhere like you wanted. They're even going to be able to get the second charge off here. As Beichuan is making his way up, but shouldn't be able to answer in time to stop this one. So at least JDG side lane's doing great to relieve some of the pressure from mid. So at this time, right, it really is going to be up to Ucal to be the one to find picks. That's why we've been hitting on seeing him transfer his advantage somewhere else. It will be quite nice. But I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know why we showed this. Just was a bit rude.
Our servers are so, rude, dude. Every time missing a cannon, missing an Ornn, our observers are just a bunch of XDD rats sometimes, man. They're just...
I gotta say, there's like some that you know, maybe you missed, maybe a play went by a bit fast. And, you know, I get it. I get calling them out. That, we all saw that. It felt like it was in slow-mo the first time it happened.
What in the hell? Why you gotta do him like that? He's already down 30 CS. He misses the ulti. And in 369, look at the benefit he gets off it. Gordrick is picked up. Turret goes down thanks to Herald. And again, I have to come back to it. Lyric, Knight might be losing out pretty hard, but 3,000 gold now. Top is winning. Bottom is winning. And because of Kanavi's individual jungle lead, it doesn't matter that Knight's like so far behind. Or I mean, he's not even that far behind in CS.
No. It definitely doesn't feel as dire as it could look from the 0-3-0 scoreline. Still, we need to remember for TT, they do have a Zeri, so if this game can be prolonged, they will always have a carry threat and win condition, and we can see them now trying to use the fact that Ucal is a strong member to bring this advantage over. But good vision control by JDG, making it so they have, you know, information in bot side river, and they can play around Ucal's move timings.
Ucal, who will be looking like he's getting to the second item, like, or at least starting it soon, right? With that 3 items, you want to see him influence the map, and you want to see TT start setting up control for this dragon. Hoya's now moving down towards mid. Again, Knight already been, let's go for something a little bit better than that. What do you call it, Lyric? Wet Willy, that's the one. Right?
Wait, what?
Or, wet ear. Where'd you get bullied in playground?
No, you're right. Wet Willy was like the slang.
The better one. I said dacked. Now Australians will understand what that is, but I don't need to repeat it. I said I wasn't going to say it on broadcast. I've now said it twice.
Reminds me of like those school or band camp movies from like the 1980s, where you see people like putting each other in lockers and giving them swirlies.
Ah, swirlies. That's the word I was looking for. What are swirlies?
What are swirlies? You know, when you put the head in the toilet and flush. Wait.
Oh.
You know, I also want to say these are very outdated. Please, no one listening, go and do this in your everyday life. I don't need a message on Twitter being like, "Hey, Lyra, so my mom was listening to your cast and she gave me a swirly this morning." WTF, man? I don't need that.
No, that's
I almost said the phrase, and I was, wait, we're on broadcast. We gotta hone in.
Oh,
Because look at Knight's honed in right now, breaking a turret, getting some cash money online for JDG. If there's anything JDG don't lack, it's cash money.
That's true, man. They got some of the best players. Salaries pretty high. I mean, again, you talk about something else, but still, JDG, a team of talent. And look, you can see why. Early game, it's now 4,000 369, will he 1v3? Ladies and gentlemen, call the Forge God. Hoya hits it this time. Zoom in on that, observers, as Ran Jan flies through. Now 369 doesn't have a choice. He heals up for a little bit, but he ain't getting out of that one. And a kill, a revenge, a good pick off for TT moving up to the top side of the map.
With Ucal?
I guess he thought that Ruler was going to jump out of the way with a flash. Ucal trying to predict it as Gwen comes out. Still, this Ahri running loops it. Does JDG get punished on multiple lanes?
Yeah, TT not only can play top, but to prevent anything from happening in mid and get a summoner. The thing is, though, we are missing a few key ultimates for a potential Dragon or, I guess, Herald fight that comes on through. So JDG should be favored to be able to force this next objective. You'd expect them to lean down, get that Dragon. Maybe you still have time to answer if TT did even look to respond with the Herald play. But it does look like it's going to be a little bit of a trade side, right? TT opting into playing top because they know that JDG, with the loss of the ultis for TT, you know, they can't contend with that Dragon fight.
But, Lyric, we need to come back to what this game's all about. And in the 5v5, you know, you talk about TT as 369. Is he going to take on the world? Dominance is not available, and he just pulls back after clearing the wave. Little bonk on the head from Monkey. As I need to ask you again, team fighting TT, right? JDG, similarities. We did talk about 5v5 for both in some regards.
Ooh, wait, we need to pause this 369. Hoya Beichuan's still close, but Missing's making his way over, okay.
No blade.
Nothing's going to come on through, but...
Tell me.
I feel like it's different, and different power spectra. I feel like JDG theoretically should be stronger right about now. When you have a Renekton, when you have things like a Syndra on one item, and you could already start getting a good amount of burst onto the enemy, AD carrier, mid laner. Singling out one target, you have a lot of single target CC, so picks are able to come on through. TT, they want the front to back, but you want your Ornn, you want your Wukong to be these beefy front lines to be able to absorb this damage. So, different power spikes, and I feel like different ways to approach the fights. JDG, more pick-centric, get one member out first, or just burst a member outright with the amount of burst you have. TT, they can play it a bit slower, they can play it a little bit more structured.
I like that because TT are a team, when I think about them, I mean, they have been a little bit more structured this split. They've got stability with Huanfeng, and this team has been coming together for soul lanes and flash. Missing. Has to be careful. This nine-tailed Jinchuriki is running amok as JDG. They've been caught out a couple of times by this match.
Yeah, sorry, I actually wasn't prepared for the Wii references. You know, still though, blowing mid flash for support flash. Sure, you're on an Ahri, it's not going to mean too much. You're going to have Spirit Rush available very soon, and you're still going to have that same amount of mobility online. But had they been able to get that flash on Ruler, that could have been really meaningful and given them multiple opportunities to look for an easy punish going forward. Especially as we highlighted, Ruler and 369 were the ones getting a fair amount of the resources that have led JDG to having this gold lead so far.
Lyric, just a quick interval. This is like an intermission. Just a heads up, it is Jamada's birthday on March the 26th. It came to mind because I was just looking through a quick look at our calendar just to make sure.
I thought you were going to say today is Kanavi.
No, not today. Maybe it could be though. Happy birthday again, Jamada. As Beichuan tries to spin. He actually gets out of it. They use quite a lot. The flash, Kanavi. You demon. He hits the mark. As Hoya from the other side called the Forge God, layers up, hits Knight. Again, Wet Willy, round number 4. As 369 joins in, Hoya just runs away with the strangest skin I've seen. And for TT, Beichuan almost got out there alive.
I gotta say though, TT clearly doesn't fare well on Jamada's birthday. So Jamada, please stop having birthdays on days that TT plays games. Because now for JDG, gonna be able to get a good push in both mid and bot. So having that control there. Oh, and even going to drop the Herald, so they should be able to guarantee this one. They even have Missing kind of just hovering over with Ruler, just in case any shenanigans did go down. Baron now going to be up, so you'd expect some vision control to come down on top side. Make sure you can spawn out if any like cheeky shenanigans go on towards that side. I don't feel like either team should feel too comfortable looking to bait or like looking to force a Baron right now. You have a lot of good ways to turn this JDG, but still it feels like you'd be rolling the dice a little bit too much to where Dragon's going to be up in a minute 30.
Whoa. Yeah, just a little bit of a spin of the Renekton toy. Lyric, I just need to contextualize. My partner's brother, his birthday is like today or tomorrow in 20 minutes, right? I got to mention
Wait, you need to stop. You need to stop. Kanavi's coming by. Birthdays don't matter.
It's an Ahri, but never mind. Scout of the week, Unleash Hell, and Knight's back in the game. It turns out it's Knight's birthday too.
I was going to say, it turns out that being an Ahri does not matter when you have the Viol online, able to close that much distance. The Scat of the week there to follow up. Knight did commit a flash to make sure that that one goes over, but still nice pick nonetheless. We're going to see here, gets over, has a sweeper the whole time, able to close the distance with the blast plant, and then ulti Knight flashes, guarantees the Scout of the week. And if there's one champion you know you can believe in Knight on, I will still always have flashbacks to the 2020 Summer LPL Finals, where it was the Scout of the week through the wall. One of the defining
we found
moments.
out the range.
Yeah.
The range got extended. Like, I don't think we kind of really fully understood that over terrain, Scout of the week got an extra little bit because of the terrain it was on, which is that dragon wall right on the bottom of our screen moments ago.
Now, Knight, again, defining champion for him, able to find a pick, and hopefully, again, never stray too far in terms of CS. Ucal was the shining light, picking up kills with the help of Hoya and Beichuan early on. So JDG have been kind of fine keeping control over side lanes and turning it into objectives. Knight needs to be careful because as a Syndra, right, you're immobile. The only time you're really going to play far forward and aggressive as a Syndra in a side lane is when we saw, like, the bot side, you have your team close by and playing around you. So going to be a lot of relying on what 369 can do to get these objectives like the Drake. So soul point now for JDG and TT. I mean, out of nowhere. What is this? 7K gold lead.
Dude, TT with the one finding picks. Like, Bare Milk T, this is a pretty good turnabout play. And I think we have to give credit to one person who has started making things happen. Kanavi has been playing a better jungle game. Like, Beichuan's been pretty active in the early game. But a 60 CS lead on Vi at 22 minutes? That's unholy. Like,
it is crazy.
That's not possible.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it was kind of a lie. It really wasn't out of nowhere. JDG have actually been the ones in gold lead the whole time.
True.
But you're right. I guess the way they've been able to command it going forward and like play the map has been really nice off the back of Kanavi. Scout of the week.
Okay, again, here we go. Look at the damage already, though. Beichuan's hit pretty bad. Kanavi jumping in, but he's tanking up with 2 items. The health is there. He's healed up unleashed power. Kanavi has no fear. With Beichuan now running for his life. A Scout of the week to connect again. Beichuan goes into second Munga form, but missing, forces him to flash away with the stun up and available. And Tibber's on the run. Beichuan's out of there. Kanavi's low. Are they confident enough to do the Baron?
I don't think so, especially with the guns we saw up for the Aphelios right now. So gonna look to play just around it, threaten the picks that can come through. And 369.
Hello? It's Beichuan, but the whole team's there. Will 369 stop? No, he continues to go forward. He flashes, in fact, gets a stun up, and does the damage as he ulti from long range. Ruler gets a double, and JDG moved to 9,000 gold at 24 minutes. This is the most close game I think I've seen.
JDG always have the opportunity to just smash anybody they go up against. You're right, TT. They put up a commendable fight. This game has looked close, but JDG have been in a commanding lead pretty much the whole way through. We're going to see here, TT wanting to try to force picks. The fact that they have 3 members here. They spot Aphelios in mid. They know 369 was pushing bot. 369 canceling a TP, crucial part. And then Yao Yao using so much to keep Beichuan alive, it actually leaves Ucal exposed to get bursted out by those members. And then I love it, 369 having no fear, running them down. He knows he is dominant, he knows he's water drinker, and even flashing forward to close some of this distance. And then right there, wahoo! Bam!
Look at him fly.
They're dead.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, Brawler's been the quietest in the game. Like, I don't know if that's a better or worse, but just comes out of the threshold and choke and pulls out the weaponry for a double. Now 369 is getting ganked on. However, with the charm, is it going to be enough? Well, you need the bottom lane here as he heals up. Beichuan almost dies. Beichuan almost died in what became a 1 versus 4. Knight's getting top turret. Brawler's just chilling mid. And TT needed the Spanish Armada to take down that croc.
They might need more than the Spanish Armada at this point because JDG are just barreling into the base. Even going to take him off this one. They have things like Tibbers, they have the Moonlight Vigil, so they are not afraid, even with numbers disadvantage.
He uses Bellows Press, but he just gets ulted. Knight as the execute at this point. Huanfeng has to run away, but look at Knight. He was bullied in the early game, and he's getting revenge. This is what you want to see out of anyone who's been bullied at this point. As Kanavi dodges the turret shot, JDG are in the base, and at 26 minutes, while mid looks doomed, the rest of the map bled out that hard that JDG ended this game number 1 before TT could even get the semblance of a team fight. That's what I call a top team.
Yeah, JDG looking insane. Gonna be able to finish this one out, get themselves closer to being able to secure themselves in playoffs. Knight, like you said, getting bullied. He was Miguel in season 1 of Cobra Kai, getting smashed on those first few episodes. Then he went and he found Sensei Lawrence, otherwise known as Kanavi. Sensei Lawrence Kanavi coming in, teaching him the ways. And then Knight, you know, becoming a bit of a bully himself. We're going to see if that keeps up and if he can follow the same arc and the same trajectory as Cobra Kai. Shout out to Dag the Nox, other Cobra Kai enjoyers. As, JDG.
What?
I mean, like, even when it looked bad, it looked great.
No. Forget the series. I literally watched that series. I watched it all. You know, I finished it to whatever it was up to. I watched the original Karate Kid before you kids did. All right. I was inspired by Daniel-san and Miyagi. Right. I went to a beach one time in Manly and I did the crane kick on the beach in front of people. I was that Cobra Kai.
How do we relate your story to the game that just happened?
Well, we don't. But you don't criticize. You don't drop those names and don't put me in. Okay.
Shout out to Hysterics as well. There we go.
I am part of Miyagi. You guys can be Cobra Kai, but I follow the ways of Daniel-san. Anyway, game 2 coming up after this. We can't really cut to a break like that. We've got to go through all the motions, but that would be a real
hour, but
that would be a Cobra Kai thing to do.
You know what? Top lane, smash. Bot lane, smash. And mid lane, again, great play from Yao and Beichuan to enable Ucal, and Ucal to really deliver and take advantage of that. Then sadly, they were never able to transfer that around the map. Like, great vision control towards that bot side going over for JDG, because anytime Ucal started to hover down, he was getting spotted out by Ornn. And he'd be like, hey, okay, we just have to make our way back to the mid. Really, no way to go top when 369 is not only dominating, but Kanavi was putting a lot of attention up towards that side as well. So you found an advantage. It was very hard to move around the map. And JDG, once they started just breaking down these turrets with the lane advantages they built up and things like the Heralds, we started to see great map play from them. And I feel like it's one of the things from JDG has been the ways they move around the map, the way that they're collapsing on top side as a unit, 369 able to cover 2 other lanes, and it looked great.
I know he was up against an Ornn, but 37% of his team's damage. Hot damn. I mean, 369 had a great time, and that's with a Gore Drinker. He didn't even build Blade of the Ruined King. So, at the end of the day, 369 just had a bit of a field day, didn't he? And the fact that Knight did that much damage when being 4 behind, I mean, yeah, again, that semblance of teamwork, of syncing up, was just so clean from JDG that a Game 1 win in 27 minutes is what we got there. We're going to go to a Game 2 right after this break to see if TT have any energy or if they're just going to get obliterated again.